Welcome to two examples where we'll write a sum involving trig functions as a product. We'll first write cosine 29x plus cosine 11x as a product, and then we'll write cosine 15.8x minus cosine 7.4x as a product. Before we begin, let's review the sum to product identities. In our two examples, we'll be working with these last two identities where we have cosine A plus cosine B and where we have cosine A minus cosine B. One thing to mention about the sum, it's typical to have A be the larger angle, and therefore on the right side, A plus B would be positive, and so would A minus B. It's not a requirement for A to be greater than B, but if we did have a negative angle over here on the right side, we typically would perform a substitution using a negative angle identity given here below. So going back to our first example, notice how in the order of this sum, A would be 29x and B would be 11x. Notice in this form, A minus B would be positive, so this would be the preferred form of the sum. So applying our identity, we can say that cosine 29x plus cosine 11x would be equal to 2 times cosine of the quantity a plus b divided by 2. That would be 29x plus 11x divided by 2 times cosine of a minus b divided by 2. That would be 29x minus 11x divided by 2. And now we just need to simplify. So we have 2 times cosine of, this should be 40x divided by 2 times cosine of, this would be 18x divided by 2. Simplifying one last time, we have 2 times cosine of 20x, 40x divided by 2 is 20x, times cosine of 18x divided by 2 would be 9x. We now have the given sum written as a product. Looking at our next example, here we have a difference, and looking at our identity, A is equal to 15.8x and B is equal to 7.4x. And now it's just a matter of performing substitution. So cosine 15.8x minus cosine 7.4x is equal to negative 2 times the sine of a plus b divided by 2, that'd be 15.8x plus 7.4x divided by 2 times sine of a minus b divided by 2, that'd be 15.8x minus 7.4x divided by 2. And now we simplify. So negative 2 times the sine of 15.8x plus 7.4x is 23.2x divided by 2. Then we have sine of 15.8x minus 7.4x would be 8.4x. So divided by 2. And finally we have negative 2 times sine 23.2x divided by 2 would be 11.6x times the sine of 8.4x divided by 2 would be 4.2x. And once again, we have the given difference written as a product. I hope you found this helpful.